Hello and welcome. Today we have, it's not going to be a short one, and that's what I can tell you. It's going to be a long one. It's almost a 2-hour talk with my dear friend Sporxor, which is a member of my community. Down in the description, there's a Discord link for the Discord community channel. He's also a supporter of the channel or Patreon, also linked down in the description. And we wanted to do this for a long time, but we never managed. I just didn't have enough time, and then he didn't have enough time. So it's gonna be a long but pretty interesting talk about Star Citizen, of course, and because he is also a part of my org, and I'm gonna ask my org, because we made a new one. If we should put the link down in the description. So if there is a link down in the description, it's going to be there, but don't join it if you're not into PvP, because we're going to be mostly a PvP org. So anyway, to cut the story short, the intro short, I'm going to roll the intro in a second, but as I said, this is going to be a longer one, and it's going to be a fun one. It's a different pace than you saw before on my channel. So I hope you like it. And again, thank you for watching. And let's roll the intro.
Hello, my name is Grump.
All right, we're ready.
Okay.
Hello, dear friend Sporxor. How are you?
I'm doing fantastic.
Fantastic. Okay, so you got to introduce yourself to the peeps that are watching, and tell me something about you, and then I'm going to ask you some not so random questions because you read most of them.
Okay. Hello, my name is Sporxor. I play Star Citizen. I feel like this is an AA meeting here. So I've been playing Star Citizen for about a year, like a week before the last Invictus, so not too long compared to a lot of people.
So that's 312, right? Or 313?
313, yeah.
Okay.
It was 313.
Okay.
Somewhere in the middle. I think it was before 313.1, but
All right.
whatever, while ago. I've watched Grump's videos before I knew him.
Who's that?
You.
Oh, okay.
Grumpy.
Okay.
Yeah. And let's see, what was it? Citizen Con. I was trying to watch Citizen Con.
That's where we met, right?
Yeah, I hopped around a couple of streams. I was watching, Morphologist was with a couple of other people.
Mm-hmm.
And finally found Grumpy Eye's live stream. And it was like shared trauma.
Yeah.
Like we kept it going. Morphologist, it was good and all. He talks about that, but he was just talking about the content, and the content was boring.
Yeah. So
we had some fun, and I thought I was joining your community Discord, but I ended up accidentally joining the org that we were in. I wasn't in an org, so it was good. Had a lot of fun, made a lot of friends, and that was the rest is history, I guess.
Yeah. So why did you back Star Citizen? Why did you start playing Star Citizen?
I have one friend that has played for years, and he's talked about it, and it took me maybe about a year and a half of him talking about it to kind of warm up to it. Of course, from the outside looking in, all you hear is the game's a mess. It's completely unfinished, alpha for 10 years.
Yeah.
All the money that they've received through Pledge Store and stuff. And the state of the game is nowhere near even beta.
It's not even near alpha. Like most alphas that I play, sorry to cut you off, but there's a game called Bannerlord, and it's a sequel to Mountain Blade, I think. And it's fucking amazing. Like Defiant, who's also in our org, is playing that game almost fucking every day. And that game is so fucking developed. There's some bugs, but like not that many of them. Like you're not just gonna randomly die wherever. And it's a really, really huge game. I played like alphas before, like Squad and War Thunder and all that, and I have never encountered an alpha that's this fucking buggy. But please continue.
Yeah, I forgot what we were talking about.
Why? What like drew you into Star Citizen?
Yeah. What do you mean Star Citizen? We were hanging out on Discord. He was playing, showing me a couple of things. It's like, you know what? It's interesting.
Yeah.
I think there was a ship sale. Picked up an Aurora package, I think, at the time. And like I said, hopped in a week before Invictus.
Mm-hmm.
Played around a bit there. Just mostly box missions and stuff, getting the hang of the flight and stuff like that in the game mechanics. And then, of course, Invictus, you get to rent all those ships. So I got to experience a lot of things that would take me a while to earn in game without that. I've always been into space games. I haven't really played a lot of them, but you know, there's a lot that don't really hit what I like. You know, I grew up watching Star Trek Next Generation.
Okay.
And so like got hooked on like the space exploration, you know, idea. Mm-hmm. Played a couple of space games along the line. You know, old ass Mac game, Escape Velocity, which I hear they're doing a Kickstarter to do a new version of it.
Never heard of it.
Which, yeah, it's like Mac games. Most people haven't, but it was like a top down. You start out in like a shuttlecraft. You can do trade runs. You can do bounty hunting, piracies, a lot of similar things in here.
Mm-hmm.
Buy new ships, upgrade, things like that. So there's a lot of crossover from like the things that were in that game. But played some No Man's Sky too.
Yeah,
actually a fair amount of that.
So my next question would be, what were your favorite games before you started playing Star Citizen?
In terms of hours played, it would be World of Warcraft.
Okay.
I've sunk too much time into that. MMOs, mostly World of Warcraft. I've played a couple others. Played that one pretty much since it came out, off and on, but I mean, that's like a 16-year thing, probably 17 years at this point. Outside of that, survival games.
Okay.
I played a lot of Ark Survival Evolved, Conan Exiles, a lot of Valheim too. Kind of like the building ones. So, you know, when we look at Star Citizen base building, I'm really interested in.
At some point, should.
Yeah, should.
Okay, so what do you think about those games now that you played Star Citizen, and what do you think about Star Citizen when you like after you played all those games?
For the most part, Star Citizen hasn't really changed my opinion of those games.
Okay.
I still play a lot of them because, as you and I both know, Star Citizen is best when it's one of several games that you play.
Yeah.
I would say the one that my opinions changed the most would be like No Man's Sky.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like in ways they complement each other very well, in that some of the things that Star Citizen does best, No Man's Sky is terrible at. Like flight mechanics, ship combat. Like the whole point of No Man's Sky is to not be in your ship.
Yeah, it's like exploration, right?
Yeah, and then even further with that, you know, it's a game that's completely based upon procedural generation.
Mm-hmm.
But it's, you know, it's massive, it's expansive. You know, even in one galaxy in that game, there's no way that a person could see everything. Even go to the map and look at every system.
Yeah.
And they've got multiple galaxies in the game.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, you know, everything is procedurally generated from a small pool of options. So after you do the storyline, do what they have to give you, which is nice that they give you, you know, actual like quests, story like that. There's an actual storyline to the game, which Star Citizen doesn't have. Once you get done with that, and it's just down to space exploration, you upgrade your ships, upgrade your freighter, check all the boxes. And then you're just going around to see, well, okay, what kind of system is this? What color is the ground? What color is the sky? What color is the water? And that's really all you get.
Yeah.
So it does get boring pretty quickly. I do hop back into it for the expeditions, because that's like a new quest line, start from scratch, go through it, takes
So basically
a
a
couple of
new
days.
storyline, right?
Yeah, and then they always give you rewards for it.
Okay.
You complete it, and the first one they gave out like a gold TIE fighter looking ship, which is really cool. Armor, new backpack skin. So you're getting cosmetic things, but it's an actual reward for doing stuff in the game.
Yeah.
Whereas Star Citizen, not very expansive. Not a whole lot of procedural generation yet. But the things that they have invested time and resources into, like ship design, cities, planets, somewhat. I know that's going to expand from here.
Yeah.
But the things that they've put their energy into for development and graphics and stuff like that, it's so detailed. Whereas No Man's Sky it's not. So that's when I say that they kind of complement each other very well.
Mm-hmm.
It's like they're opposites.
I just realized, sorry, but like I realized that Discord has flipped my screen, and this is now a Z, and it was an S before, so it's not a Z. Anyway,
It's an S for me.
Is it? Okay, nice.
Yeah,
It's
it
a
shows
Z
you
for me.
reverse so that like if you have writing on your shirt, you can read it.
Oh, okay. Weird. So yeah, what are the to tie in with that question? Like, what would be the future mechanics that you would be like most excited about in Star Citizen?
Future mechanics. Now, are we talking about current mechanics that are more than tier 0 or new ones that aren't in the game?
I mean, everything is tier 0 at this point.
Yeah.
But no, like, are you interested in exploration? Because, like, for me, when I like joined Star Citizen, I saw myself at some point down the line as a bounty hunter that would just like go onto a moon where there will be a guy in a bar, chilling, drinking water, whatever, like doing something, and I would just shoot him with a fucking revolver into the face and like be done with it. So that's like what I want from this game. But what do you want from this game?
You going for the Han shot first aspect?
Yeah.
I want everything.
Oh.
Like currently, I do asteroid mine. We do bounty hunting. We do shenanigans.
Yeah.
Like I want to touch everything in the game.
Oh yeah, me too.
But what I'm looking forward to is exploration for sure. I would say one of my favorite ships right now, at least that's currently available, is a Carrack. Just because of what it should be for. Should, yeah. Space exploration. I mean, for starters, it doesn't look like it, but it's the most Star Trek ship in the game. It's got an engineering section, it's got an engine room, it's got a med bay, it's got everything, multi-crew, tons of fuel, so you can get out in the middle of nowhere once we can set a jump point to not a place.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm looking forward to doing that, going out, finding things, selling locations. Data running sounds interesting as well.
Yeah, the only issue is that like we still don't know how those mechanics are gonna work in the end. Like we have no idea.
It's all left up to the amount that they've told us about the mechanics, and then just our imaginations and what it could be like. So other than that, we have no idea. Some things we can kind of get an idea of direction they're going, but like, especially things like data running, like who knows?
It's
Is it
probably
going
going
to
to be
be
a
like
laser, or you point a laser at something and that's it. Or like a scanning mechanic. It's probably going to be something like that.
It's like
Or like,
hacking looks like it's going to be a BioShock pipe game. That'll be fun.
I expected more, to be honest.
Well,
Yeah.
we'll see what we get.
It's a tier 1, I guess. Because currently it's like tier 0 with the waiting time and all that shit.
0.5.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, so what are the future mechanics that like turn you off the most? That you really dislike?
I don't want to say, well, they're all kind of grain of salt things.
Mm-hmm.
Where I think that if implemented well and at the right time, they could be good. If they're meaningful. Death of a Spaceman, I like the idea of it, but it makes me nervous.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I play survival games, where you die and you lose your stuff and you have to go back and get it.
Yeah.
Where, you have to forage and make food and eat and drink.
But you currently have that in Star Citizen.
Oh, yeah.
Losing after dying with like Death of a Spaceman, you're gonna lose more stuff that were like in your like inventory on a station, or you're maybe gonna lose some ships.
Yeah. And we have a little bit of it, and we're not ready for it.
Yeah.
With the survival games that I play, it's risk versus reward. You go into something risky because there's something there that you can't get anywhere else. Here, where's the reward?
Yeah. I mean, reward is probably going to be like you're going to go into risky systems like Pyro, and then like you will probably have more quantanium there to mine or refine or whatever. You're probably going to have like more things to salvage and etc. Like once salvage is there, but then you're going to get shot and killed, and you like first off for just for doing that, you will need to have like an org that's gonna protect you, right? Because and like secondly, I don't know, like my biggest gripe with that of a spaceman is that like since we had the first fucking game ever made, and like I don't know which game was that, but there was a death mechanic, and that mechanic was there for you to learn, like fucking Pac-Man. You don't know if the ghosts are gonna like kill you unless you get killed by those, right? Super Mario, Prince of Persia, whatever. Like you always die so you can learn, so you can do better. And like here, you're gonna get punished for like 5 or 10 deaths. And like, how are you supposed to learn for like a new player? For us, it's gonna be better because we have time now to learn all the mechanics and to learn how to fly and how to PvP. But for newer players, how is it gonna work out? Because they're just gonna drop in, get killed 5 times by somebody that's griefing or pirating or whatever, and they're gonna lose their shit. Like, why would they even play that game then? Right?
Yeah, that's. Another thing that I was thinking about talking about today was the barrier to entry to this game is getting higher. It's getting steeper. Even in terms of like PvP combat, I'm not great.
You're doing better. Like,
yeah, I got some sticks, which, is a continuous process of learning, but, it's just like a lot of other games where people have been playing it for like 5-10 years.
Yeah.
And you get the vast majority of the consistent players are just ridiculously good. And someone new stepping into that, I think it's hard.
It is hard. And like on top of that, you have people like, I don't know, Avenger 1 or the Liberty Reapers. They're like, not only that they're good, they have a really good understanding of like how the game works. If the game, if like the guy is lagging, where do you need to shoot him at that point? Because like the PAP is gonna lie to you, and all of that. Like back in before they fixed the desync, you would know that like you have 2 seconds of delay, therefore you can just backstrafe, etc., etc., etc. I mean, at some point,
drop your EMPs in front of the ship, all that kind of stuff.
yeah, at some point, all of that should be fixed, and we should have a better experience. But still, how are you going to learn if you don't, like, you're not going to learn through YouTube videos. The only way to learn is to actually have experience.
Yeah.
And in the end, people, like, I have VKBs as you do, the NXTs, and like I'm really having issues with like the yaw, with the twist, and now I need a rudder, right? And some people have like Constellations alphas with like extensions that like give them more like more of a tactile feel, and also they have rudders and a lot of that stuff. And some people are just like keyboard and mouse players, and it's really hard. Like
good keyboard and mouse players. There's some ridiculously good ones, like Sunchaks.
Yeah, but
He's
still,
mouse, he's good.
Sunchaks is also a guy from our org for people that don't know. But still, he has like he needs like a track IR so you can so he can track us while he's finding us, and he would do much better with sticks because like it's not like A Q Q Q A. It's just like more tactile.
Yeah,
and more precise.
Everything's on or off except for rotation.
Yeah. So yeah, for me, like Death of a Spaceman is the worst idea out there. I hope that they will implement it somehow, that like it doesn't completely ruin the game experience, but I guess we'll see.
And that's those types of things. That's why I say it. I don't know how it's going to turn out. There could be game mechanics and systems that make it not as bad.
I mean,
they just don't talk about them. We don't know.
Yeah, even CIG doesn't know how it's going to turn out. Like, whenever they are asked that in a Q&A session, they never like respond, and they mostly say that like we are not sure right now. So anyway, next question: how big is your fleet, and what would you like to have in the future in your fleet?
Okay, what do we got right now? So right now I have I just did some switching around on some things. Are you saying what I pledged for or what I just have?
Well, I mean, what was the difference?
Well, the ones that I've paid money for are the ones that I've earned in game.
No. What you paid your
okay.
With your wallet, basically, yeah.
Yeah. So your favorite ship, Pirate Gladius.
Okay.
I like red, and I wanted a Gladius, so we'll talk about this one later. But I got that because, well, obviously, I said I like red, but it's the best skin in the game because it's not a hex code. So I have that. I just picked up an Expanse.
Okay.
I've got an LTI hover quad just sitting and waiting for probably Invictus again or Fleet Week, whenever there's the next sale.
All right.
I've got a Crucible that I'm going to get rid of probably at the same time. Right now, the loaner ship on that is a Connie Andromeda.
Okay.
I've got a Redeemer. My starter pack right now is a Mustang that's LTI that I'm, again, waiting to roll over to something else. So I move ships around a fair amount. Just one so that I have some buyback tokens available on, future ones that might get more expensive when they get closer to release.
Yeah.
And
so what would you like to have in the future? What are you waiting for?
What am I waiting for? I like the idea of the Banu Merchantman.
Okay.
We'll see how that plays out. Perseus looks pretty good. I don't necessarily want to own any capital ships, but some bigger multi-crew ships for 3, 4, 5 people,
Mhm.
6, 7, smaller group like 10 and under crew for specific roles. So
How are you not thinking about the Odyssey then? Because I'm about to pull the trigger on the Odyssey. I'm just waiting for Invictus for the sale.
honestly, I haven't really been thinking about the Odyssey because I know you're about to pull the trigger.
Okay. Fair enough.
I mean, it doesn't really help if every person rolls up in like a Redeemer.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
So,
well, I mean, also we have another guy, Fateless, in our org that like has everything. So
he's got a lot
we
of stuff,
basically don't need to have anything, but still.
Yeah. So what I think of is what ships do I want for, if I'm not on hanging out with the org or I've got a smaller group of people and, those ships aren't available. Honestly, I don't really have a lot of ships on the list that I want that aren't out yet. I'm not really thinking too much about that because it's like, okay, so I want the Odyssey, I want the Orion, I want the Banu Merchantman. Cool. When?
Yeah, well, the only reason why you should get them now is because they're going to be cheaper now than like when they get released, and that's it.
Yeah, and I've got a buyback token on the Merchantman and the Orion. I missed the Odyssey one, but I should be able to get that soon if I want to.
Yeah. All right. How do you like the ship design in this game, and what would you like to see?
I think ship design is one of the best things in this game. Everything's detailed. I mean, 8K towels. Come on.
Yeah.
It's thought out. It's thought out very well. Things are in most ships laid out in good places. A lot of the larger ships where it's not just you've got a small bedroom with a desk, a bed, and a toilet that pops out of the wall.
Mm-hmm.
There's ships that if you think about the future of the game where there is exploration and it's much more persistent than it is, and you would be able to log out in your ship reliably. And then log back into your ship reliably, or log back into the game reliably for that matter. There's a couple of steps there. And you don't stand the risk of your ship just randomly blowing up.
Yeah.
A lot of the ships would be a lot of fun to just hang around in. Like, think about the future of the game. How would you feel about just pretty much living on a Carrack?
Well, yeah, I'm going to have the Odyssey, but yeah.
Yeah, Carrack, Odyssey, just one of those exploration ships. Do I really need to go to Lorville?
Well, my only issue with that is that they're going to take out the tier 2, what are called, medical beds, and you're not going to be able to spawn in those, and that's it.
Could you imagine just going 500 million kilometers just into nowhere and then dying? And then you spawn back. It doesn't even have to be a Maria, bug, right? Pure of Heart.
Or on Pyro, or wherever, like on Sol. And you gotta fucking find your ship again so you can get like all the loot that you have on it or whatever, because like you're gonna live on that ship, right?
Yeah. I'm trying not to get too critical of that. Just the same thing with Death of the Spaceman. Either something that hasn't been talked about is going to be implemented, or hopefully they rethink some of the things, like with the respawn on the beds.
Yeah. Well,
because otherwise it's just, you blow up in Pyro, you blow up way past Pyro, and you end up at like some Maria Pure of Heart or Grim Hex.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. Like maybe, from my point of view, there should be like a tiering, and there should be a like slight difference. But like for tier 2 I would implement if I was asked, like, just give us like make us use medical supplies or something like that. So each time we need to respawn there, we use up those supplies. So that at some point you will be low on those and you will need to go to a station and refill on those. Otherwise you will not be able to spawn on your ship.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you could take that a step further and you can gather resources to make those supplies.
Yeah.
So you hop over to some random moon or asteroid, gather the stuff, build the resupplies yourself.
Yeah.
Or maybe a tier 2 bed, you can respawn it, but there's some healing time.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
What happened?
I think someone's here.
Oh, okay.
Can we pause for a second here so I can see what's going on?
Right. Go for it. All right.
Sorry about that.
No, it's cool. It's not live, so it's fine. So the question for you was, what kind of designs of ships would you like to see in the future? Like for me, so you can understand the question. For me, I would love an Argo gunship. Like just to like a fucking brick with a ton of guns, and you just like you see it and you get offended. That's what I want to see.
Just get offended.
Yeah.
Speak to the manager. I like ships with interiors. I like 5 or under cruise ships because they're a lot easier to get in and play with. As far as ship design, I like kind of the industrialness of RSI. I feel like they're missing something. What does RSI have?
Polaris, Perseus, fucking Connies, all the Connies.
So some of those are coming. I'd like to see something different from Crusader.
Yeah. I would love to see a light fighter from Drake.
Yeah, exactly. That said, light fighter from Crusader.
Yeah.
Origin could do a bunch of different stuff. Like if Origin came out with a more comfortable exploration ship that isn't, like
the 600i,
excessive opulence of the 600i or the 890 jump. Well, shoot, what if they came out with like the bougiest mining ship out there?
A golden mining ship.
Yeah. Dude, it's just gold-plated toilet. Like, I would do that. Especially with asteroid mining.
Mm-hmm.
There's not a lot going on out there.
Yeah.
What about data running? Sure, you can have the MSR and get like a hint of like a Millennium Falcon feel, even though it doesn't really look too much like a Millennium Falcon. You're going to be going at a high rate of speed from a data point, that's out in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah.
Back to civilization. You're going to be on that ship for a while.
Yeah.
Maybe that's something that Origin could make a really nice ship to be on that does data running.
Well, we are still waiting for the 500i and for the 700i. So yeah, I don't know. For me, the MSR is basically the best designed ship in the game, except the fucking doors that take you to the cockpit. That's just like
the Hercules.
Yeah,
he's like the video where they just loop it. It's like, yeah, that's pretty much how it feels.
Yeah, like I don't understand like why is it there, but the other stuff is laid out fucking perfectly, and also the like under compartments where you can just hide and just those tunnels inside are just amazing. And I think that like more ships need those, but I guess we'll see. I don't know. Like the question here was like, I really dislike the like I love the Redeemer. The design is all like done by the community basically. But like,
Yeah.
why are the jump seats upstairs?
It's a very interesting design, but the practicality of it isn't great.
It's the same
Like,
with the M2,
why
right?
why does so you've got the ramp, and then you have a door,
Yeah,
and that door just closes when you get like 3 feet away from it,
yeah.
which it makes bunker missions not fun in a Redeemer when the Redeemer should be a really good ship for bunker missions.
Well, yeah. I mean, it's done for like more things than just like bunker missions. Because I know that somebody's going to be angry in the chat and say something about this. But like, I don't know. Like, just having jump seats on the upper deck is just like weird to me. Because like, it's basically the same size as the lower deck, and they could just like swap them around and be done with it. But like, for some reason they like, it's the same with the M2. And like, for me, I don't really like the ships that have like wings. I think like, well, I'm a Star Wars fan, and like most of the ships there are just like weird designs, and I like those.
Wings in Space for is pretty much what you're saying.
Yeah, yeah. And like, when you have a spaceship that goes like 1,000 meters per second in space and like 700 meters per second in atmosphere, why do you even like, you have like
There's thrusters for that.
those like, yeah, like engines and thrusters, they're just amazing. Why would you even need wings? I don't know. And like, mostly all of those wings are just weird. Like, they're not aerodynamic at all. Like, they're just for show.
Like the Gladius.
Yeah, yeah, like or the Vanguard, those like little fun, like you have the whole fucking fat ship and then just like small little wings, and I'm a plane. No, you're not, dude. Like, the fuck is wrong with you? Okay, so next question. What do you think about the fact that CAG is making money by selling ships for Star Citizen and then investing all of their resources into another game or Squadron 42?
Conflicted.
Okay.
Squadron 42 can be a good platform to develop shared systems. And on one hand, I would really like to see a more finished, polished product from CIG. Which
could you get your mic a bit closer to your? Yep. Thank you. Yeah.
Yeah, what I was saying is I'm a bit conflicted because I would like to see, it'd be nice to see a finished, polished product from CIG, and Squadron 42 is much less monumental of a task as the Persistent Universe is. The PU is something that will never actually be done, just like a lot of persistent, massively multiplayer games like MMOs. They're never done. There's always those ones. There's expansions.
Yeah.
Added features, added benefits, patches. I don't know what model Star Citizen is going to go with for that, but a single player or like a 2 to 4 player co-op, I don't know if they're ever going to add that to Squadron 42. It'd be nice to see.
Yeah.
And there are some shared systems that they can develop in Squadron 42 and implement those to the PU. There's a lot of stuff that the Persistent Universe needs that doesn't make sense for Squadron 42.
Yeah.
I do want to say this is coming from my perspective of watching the game for like 2, maybe 3 years and only playing for 1. I feel like it's a different experience for people that hopped in very early on when it was supposed to be one game.
Mm-hmm.
And now they've split those apart. And now they're telling the people that originally backed for Star Citizen with a Squadron 42 mode. And now people wanted Star Citizen, Persistent Universe, and their money has gone to Squadron 42.
Yeah.
And SC and the PU gets the back burner. I could see how there's a lot of people that are upset about that. I don't feel
I
like
am one of those people.
yeah. I mean, to an extent, I am too, but I feel like I'm not the person that really has that strong of a voice for that because I'm not the one that was involved in that change.
Well, yeah, you didn't back in the Kickstarter. Neither have I. But like, it's the same. Like, once I try to compare it with like me as a musician and or a music producer, and then like somebody pays me to do a song for him, and then I take the money, I give him like a demo of the song, and then I take that money and invest into something else that's gonna make me money, or like my own songs, and then just like give him an update on the song like every 3 months, just like add another snare or something like that. And he's like, the fuck, dude, like, or maybe an album, and then just like do song by song, and it's like it's just a weird business model, but it's working somehow. It is working.
Yeah. Well, it's working now while it's in alpha.
Yeah. Well, it's gonna stay in alpha for a while. Like, even when we give Pyro, it's not gonna be a beta because there's no reason to call it a beta, right?
Yeah. Yeah. No, I agree. They'll change the name to beta, but
No,
are
I
we
think
going to
it's
notice
gonna
the
be
difference?
like Alpha 4.0. Beta should be there when like server meshing and like a bunch of systems are there and everything like runs smoothly, and then they should call it beta, at least from my standpoint. I don't know.
They should.
Should, yes, of course.
Should.
I'm just
I
gonna
mean,
call this.
if they don't
should.
call it a beta, beta
Yeah.
makes it sound like there's progress.
Yeah.
Um,
What do you want to see in the near future for this game?
I would like to see something new be implemented and 3 things don't break.
Okay.
That's one thing I'd like to see.
Mm-hmm. So you don't like when like a reclaimer spawns in the ground because they change the font on a keypad?
Yeah. I don't like trying to change the upper left MFD on a ship, and where I need to click is right where the exit ship button is or the eject button is. And
Yeah.
I'm just trying to, change my weapon firing order.
Mm-hmm.
The next thing I know, whoo, I'm out of the ship in a medical gown.
Yeah. What do you hate the most about what we have right now with this game?
I don't want to sound like I'm too hard on the game. I have a fairly high tolerance for bugs. Most of the time I find them funny. Like, was it yesterday that my Redeemer blew up but didn't blow up? Next thing I know, I'm getting out of the chair and the chair is gone. I lost the first time I've lost a chair in the game. The chair blew up, holes in it, like halfway through the ground. Dude, that was hilarious.
Yeah.
But what I don't like right now is, I'm going to give another vague, non-specific answer of Tier 0.
Mm-hmm.
We've got the start of some good systems, and they're not quite flushed out yet. Like inventory. How many times do I have to drag these arms onto my body before they'll stay there?
Mm-hmm.
How many times do I have to drag the gravity gun, the tractor beam attachment from the station inventory to the ship inventory before it stays there?
Okay, that could be just like server related issues. Like it doesn't need to be the inventory's fault. But do you have anything else to say about the inventory? Because you had like a monologue.
But when it's like half the time on every server I'm on, whether it's the inventory system's fault or it's the server fault, in the end I experience it.
Yeah.
Other things that aren't quite finished. It's a lot of that list that we've been talking about. The should be working better.
But it's not. It's not just about the bugs. See, like I don't have anything against the bugs. The bugs are just gonna be there. It's an alpha. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
But them like improving the game by getting us like a tier 0 implementation of the fucking inventory without a transfer all button or a shift click or whatever.
Yeah.
Like, and then keeping it like that for 9 months almost is just like amazing to me. Like, what's up with that? And like like after how many years do we get core ATC button? And when are we gonna get the inventory system just have a transfer all or the new fucking terminals where you need to click on quick sell, and the quick sell is fucking slower than just outright selling it. And then you gotta like, it's just amazing to me.
Yeah, I think that comes down to we get tier 0 implementations, and when was the last time you saw something go from tier 0 to tier 1?
Yeah, I didn't. We have yet to get the tier 1 fucking EVA. Because the EVA is at tier 0 right now. And at some point it's going to be tier 1, but they like delayed it a couple of times now.
Yeah.
All right. So what do you want this game to be?
I think the only answer we can give is Chris Roberts' vision.
Really?
No.
You want this game to be a
that was a joke.
Okay.
For the greater good. I'm going to throw out the catchphrase. I want immersion. Immersion.
Okay.
You know, this is the type of game that you should very easily be able to just sink yourself into it. Like, we're all trying to feel like we're living 1,000 years in the future.
Mm-hmm.
And kind of live out that space cowboy fantasy or whatever we want.
Mm-hmm.
So in order for it to do that, it needs to have depth. It needs to have variety of things to do. You know, some people are really into mining, some people like trading, some people like combat, and all the other things that are going to be added. You know, get some junkyard guy that likes scrapping, and that if that's what they want to do, and that's the only thing they want to do, it's got to be enough to keep them interested, entertained, getting better at it. So there has to be some skill involved. So yeah, depth, immersion, but at the same time, it can't be exactly like what it would be in real life, because it is still a game.
Yeah,
it's a hard balance to make, and it's a shifting line of, you know, realism versus entertainment and, you know, enjoyment.
Yeah. So how do you like the progression? But like not the progression of CAG, because no, but the progression system in the game. Like, do you actually feel like you're progressing and doesn't need to be slowed down or sped up?
You mean in terms of like systems coming out, or like my skills and ability in the game?
So when I say progression, I mean like in other games you would grind to get, like in WoW. I haven't played it, so correct me if I'm wrong, but you would need, my dog is just rowdy. You would need to like grind to get better things, better loot or whatever. And then with that better loot, it unlocks the next thing that you can do, that you can have to grind, so you can get better and better and better and progress like that, like your character is progressing, right?
Yeah.
So for me, in this game, like, okay, now you can't really kill the hammerhead with just like an arrow. It's really difficult now in this patch, because like the turrets track like fucking, like they have a aimbot basically. But
for those out there wanting advice, Redeemer works well.
Yeah, the Connie does too, like Eclipse, of course. I killed it with the Ion a bunch of times, so it's working.
Just,
It's not that bad.
It's just that to do it quickly and consistently, repeatably because I mean, group ERTs is still one of the better money makers.
Yeah, but how good is it? Like, you don't have anything better than the group ERTs. You only have the Idris mission, right? But for the Idris mission, you need to use the Eclipse or grind with the Ion for a while. It's going to take you a long time, right? And that Idris mission does not spawn like the ERTs do, right? So you can't really grind with the Idris mission.
Repeatable,
yeah. So therefore, like, it takes you a ton of time. I counted it, like it was like I calculated it. It was like 4.5 days to grind for a Carrack. And some people on Spectrum are saying that it should take an org a couple of months to grind for a Carrack. And like, would you like that kind of a gameplay in the end?
I don't think so.
Yeah.
It's tricky because, like, what's the minimum crew number that realistically would work for a Carrack?
So, I mean, 1 if you're going into fight, like 3 because you're gonna have those guns on the side.
So let's say you got 3 people on it, 4 people, and how many people is kind of the max capacity? So, like, the amount of time varies.
Beds do they have? They have like 4 or 5 bunk beds
bunch.
Plus 1 for the commander, so 6 people maybe.
Yeah. So I mean, even if you put 8 people on it, there will be positions for more than 6 people. I mean, you've got 4 turrets, pilot, co-pilot, engineer, the scanning drones. Maybe there's multi-crew there, but for 8 people to take several months to save up for a Carrack. I mean, what if it's just 3 and they really want to explore, and that's really the best ship currently, or that's what they want.
Yeah.
It's going to take those guys a year to get it.
Yeah.
And that's realism, but it doesn't make a fun game.
Nope.
And there's
especially to cut you off, especially because, like, currently with a game design like the game that we have right now, you can only like mindlessly grind and do ERTs or go mining or whatever. If the time is like prolonged and you need to grind for an extended amount of time, more than the 4.5 days that you have to do now, which was like, for me, it's still a bit too much because, like, I don't see a sense of progression and getting better missions so you can get the better ships. But like, in the end, people are either going to pay for those ships, like with real money, like pledge on the store, if it's even possible, or they're just going to stop playing because, like, there's why would you grind in on top of all of that? You have an issue with like no org accounts or like ships that are tied to an org, because all the ships are just tied to a single person, and when that person is not online, you don't have that ship.
Yeah. So I just did a little math here. To do group ERTs to earn enough for a Carrack is 804 bounty targets.
It should be 270 group ERTs.
Yeah, but times 3, 804 bounty targets.
All right.
It's a lot of mindlessness.
Yeah.
I think the other thing is there's no stepping stone. What's the entry level exploration ship right now? I know there's going to be some more entry level ones coming.
Pisces, and then Terrapin.
Terrapin's what, max 2-man crew? The design of it is that people take shifts. Like, that's not fun to go out with your buddies.
Yeah.
Once they add interior atmosphere you put 3-4 people on that ship and you're not going to have enough air for after a while.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's fun while it lasted, but I'm saying, like, 2, 3, 4-man crew exploration ship. Maybe, you asked the question before, what kind of ship would I like to see? A smaller crew exploration focused ship. But I want that, when exploration's a thing. I don't want it now.
Yeah. I mean, they will always add more and more things instead of adding, like, more ships instead of adding more game loops. But yeah.
I don't think of that like they should stop making ships and they should focus more on the systems.
Mm-hmm.
So CIG is a big company with a lot of people and a lot of teams.
Yeah.
Maybe make the development team for systems bigger? Maybe.
From what I know, I think that, like, the next system is already, like, done. But when I say done, I mean just the planets, without all the, like, what would you call them, like stations and like bunkers and all of that. That is not done, but like the planets themselves should be done already. And like, because they're using more and more like that, like procedural generation of planets is working better now, so they can like do more of that. So we will have more systems, but still, from my point of view, well, Stanton itself is just an empty shell of what it could be.
Exactly.
Like, we have ArcCorp, we have just one landing zone on ArcCorp. The rest of the city is completely unusable. It's just there for show. We have Lorville that has all the same bunkers. We have Crusader that has just one landing zone. Maybe we're going to have more landing zones on Crusader. There's a new game loop coming in during the Invictus. It's going to be really fun fighting in, like, I can't say more because like it's Evocati, but there's some fighting involved on Crusader, and it's going to be like at 12 FPS probably, because all the people are going to be there. And
so
like,
you say 12 because we're experiencing better frames right now. It would have been 6 before, right?
Yeah, and we have 3090s and pretty like spec'd up PCs, but like, I don't know. Like, for me, I would love to see more in Stanton before we get Pyro. Of course, I want, like, our org is stationed in Pyro and all of that, and it would be really nice to have Pyro. But like, if it's gonna be as empty as Stanton is, like, for me, I would love to have to spend like 3 hours on a single planet just making money by doing something without even using my ship.
Yeah, it'd be great.
Yeah. But not by just fucking dragging shit and clicking and selling, quick selling. That's not the game mechanic I'm looking for.
Yeah, I mean, if looting and mining and collecting gets a whole lot better when you're doing more than just selling it. If there's some sort of crafting, or you get to a point where you're specifically going looking for, I need this one thing so that I can do this with it.
Mm-hmm.
I think that'll be a lot better when there are bases, whenever that is. They'll be, and I agree. There needs to be things to do on a planet that aren't just fly to it, get the thing, do the thing, and then leave.
Yeah.
They're going to add rivers and roads. Where are those going to go? Where are they going to go?
They're probably just going to connect bunkers and stations and all of that, which is cool. But like, why would you use a road when you have a ship?
I don't know. You might want to drive that hover quad for about 10 hours to get from, HDMS Edmonds to Lorville.
Yeah.
Road trip, right?
Why?
Yeah.
Like, are you gonna get any money? Also, by the way, I just bought the hover quad in the game, and I spawned it, and it spawned inside the pad, and it was the funniest thing ever because it was trying to glitch out and to fix itself, but it was just failing, and it was so disturbing and funny at the same time. So yeah, like why would you even like spend time except doing the same fucking bunker over and over again right now? And like I don't see them even talking about having any more depth on those planets, like having variety when it comes to like bunker missions or
maybe like
anything else.
a second city, maybe.
A second city, more mission givers.
Yeah, quest lines.
Yeah, mission givers that like give you something to do inside a city.
Yeah.
Go talk to this guy, go shoot this guy, find this guy, whatever. Find a dagger that I lost, like the typical MMO or RPG shit, just like...
Yeah, I think there's definitely room for that in this game.
Yeah.
That'll get people passively knowing the layout of those cities too.
Yeah.
So have to remember, okay, I have to take this over to Twitch. Where's Twitch?
Yeah.
Right, there's a lot of systems popping up in the game, like rivers and roads. I said the roads especially. It's a step towards, good things. But in the end, it's cool to see. But we see a lot of things implemented in the game, maybe a little bit early.
Yeah,
like refueling.
I mean, okay, we're gonna need refueling for Pyro, right? And right now, there's no point in having that. But to be honest, the Starfarer was a useless piece of ship for forever now. Like it's the first big ship that they made for this game. So it's been out for like 6 years or something like that. So just give it something to do, even if it's broken. Like we have the Redeemer, which is out for like 5 years or something like that. It still doesn't have a game loop.
The Reclaimer.
The Reclaimer, sorry. Its main purpose is just not there yet. And we're gonna get the Vulture, and it is gonna get a game loop. And, okay, maybe not a game loop, but the mechanic is gonna work. But the Reclaimer is still not going to work. So at least they did something with the Starfarer, right?
Yeah. And I don't think they should have waited on refueling. Because it's good to get those kind of things out early. You know, and I don't like them holding something back just because they're waiting for something to do. That's honestly, to me, that's more of a shift in what the focus should be on.
Yeah.
They got the Reclaimer in how long before salvage?
Yeah. I mean, they said that the salvage is coming in the next patch when they release the Reclaimer. But yeah. What do you not want this game to become? I mean, we touched upon that a couple of times, but
I mean, if I was to just consolidate it into one thing here, it needs to be accessible. It needs to be a game. It needs to be enjoyable. I don't want it to become too much work to play.
Yeah.
I don't want it to become not fun because of the realism.
Yeah. Because like the main word here is play, not experience, not being there, not having that, but play. Because like we're all players, and like as with music or whatever, like if it's not fun, if you're not playing. And I mean, like a child trying to make something, and I know that like you have some sense and all of that, and you understand this. Like if there's not play involved, then it's not fun, and you're not going to do it anymore, right? And like it's the same with games. Like games are made to like escape reality and not like making it a second life where the second life will be also shitty. Like because like the first life is already fucking shitty, right? I mean, come on.
Yeah.
We will live in a brink of fucking World War III, right? And the pandemic and all that shit. So, yeah.
There's a lot going on. And it's kind of nice to hop into a game and just think about what am I going to do in space today?
Yeah.
Yeah. The other thing is I don't want it to end up being pay to win.
Well, since there is no end game, you can't really say that it is pay to win, but it is somewhat of a pay to win. It's like Gaijin did with War Thunder, which is one of the reasons why they banned me from their forums, because I was an alpha tester and I was really pissed off with some things. And there was you played War Thunder, right?
No.
Okay, that was Fisk then, another guy from the org. So in War Thunder, it's like a World War II. It was World War II, like planes.
Yeah, I know what it is.
Okay, now you have jets and all that shit. But like at some point, they started adding like pay to win planes, like a German captured P-47, which is an American plane. And it had better guns, it had better maneuverability, it was faster, it had everything going for it. And also, if you were a sim player like I was, because I wasn't doing like the arcade battles and all that shit, you see a silhouette, you see a P-47, you're in a P-47 and you're like, okay, I'm not going to attack him because he's a friendly. And then he just booms and zooms you and he kills you. And that completely broke the game for the most of us. And that was just bullshit. Like with this game, with Star Citizen, there's not really an end goal. And like the cheapest ships, the Arrow and the Gladius, are the best fighters right now. And I think it's going to stay like that. They're not going to take down capital ships, but they can hold their own. And they can like destroy hammerheads, redeemers, whatever.
Yeah. And that's good. I want it to stay that way. I don't want it to be, whoever has the more expensive ship wins.
Yeah.
And I guess maybe a better way for me to phrase this wouldn't so much be pay to win, but more pay to bypass the time sinks.
Yeah.
Where
I think that's going to happen because like we're going to have the Pioneer, and the Pioneer, from what I know, you can only get it by paying for it. You can't get it in the game, or you will not be able to get it in the game. So you will have your base. You will in that base you will have like refineries. You will have a bunch of stuff that's going to be just faster for you and make everything more enjoyable and faster, basically. So that is a bit of a pay to win kind of a mechanic, but hopefully it's going to be balanced out at some point, hopefully.
Yeah, and that's really balance is what I want. Because like right now, if you want to do multiple things in the game, you need multiple ships.
Yeah.
And although the majority of the ships are available to buy in game, the amount of time it takes to save up for all of them.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean that's why everyone owns more than one ship.
Yeah. Like in 3.13, it took me 4 weeks or 5 weeks to grind for Hammerhead.
Yeah,
I started with the Prospector. Then I figured that like the Mole is going to do better, so I bought the Mole. And then I had to grind back up to like 4.5 million, and I couldn't sell the Prospector because that's not in the game. And I had to like grind from there. And then I was like, well, the Cuddy is not going to cut it anymore. I need to transfer all of the shit that I mined, so I need a bigger ship. And then we had like the Caterpillar was the only big ship, so I got the Caterpillar. And then I started grinding for the Hammerhead. It took me like, from that point, it took me like 2 or 3 weeks.
Yeah, it's definitely slower to save up money right now.
Yeah, and it's apparently it's going to become like even slower, which is something that I'm not really that into. All right,
Yeah.
so compared to other games, what is this game lacking the most from your point of view? Or compared to like No Man's Sky or whatever?
Okay. So a lot of the other games that I story
Story, okay. Well,
quest
that's going to be
lines.
Squadron 42, right?
Yeah. Okay. What if we don't play Squadron 42? Like, is the persistent universe supposed to rest on the backbone of the story for?
It's a sandbox.
Well, it's true, but having story quest lines, more fleshed out reputations. I guess it's immersion, really. The depth. I want the depth.
Yeah, like I don't mind it not having stories as long as you can make your story your own, right? Like if you can start doing something like progress in some kind of way and then like branch out and do something else and like be a guy that like did everything or just did mining, but like with mining you just have one kind of rocks that you're gonna mine. Like it just needs progression, right?
Well, that's a better way. Let me rephrase what I said instead of story, because like you said, that is Squadron 42 is a campaign story based game. Yeah. I want there to be a almost like a narrative or a story to things that you're doing. Mm-hmm. If asteroid mining is your thing, put something to it. Instead of like you said, go out, you look for a high enough percentage quantanium rock that you can fill your hold, and you head back. Rinse, repeat over and over. Some progression to that.
Yeah.
For bounty hunting, sure, we have reputation, we've got licenses, you rank up to an extent, but you get to the top of that very quickly. And then...
Well, that's not a bad thing. Like getting back up to that or just ranking up is not really a bad thing. But like the weird thing is like what after that? Because like 100K per group bounty, I think it's like fair. It's okay. It shouldn't be lower. It shouldn't be like that higher. But what after that? We need more. Like, and I'm not saying like 3 hammerheads or something like that, but like Idris missions spawning over and over again, and then after Idris's javelins or whatever, or events, or just having events where you can make a lot of money.
Well, what if they give bounty hunt once you get to that top level and you get that max rank, max reputation? They start giving you more interesting, more intricate, maybe more time-consuming missions.
Yeah,
where you're actually having to do some detective work now, instead of knowing where your AI PvE target is. You got to figure it out, and you get paid a lot more for it.
Yeah.
So like there's a lot of depth available past where things are at. A lot of those systems can be expanded on. And we get new things to do, variation, more intricacy to it. And that's a whole nother skill set that we can learn of finding a target when we don't know where they are.
Yeah. Well, Tony Z was talking about that in one of the ICs, or maybe actually during CitizenCon. So his idea with Quanta is that like one NPC is going to be followed around, or that NPC you have like a bounty on him, and he's going to like be on Yella and then jump to Port Olisar and like get a drink there and then go back to Yella or to Sailing or whatever, and you will be able to like intercept him on Olisar and shoot him there, right? So that will be a great idea, right?
They talked about that. It was a couple months ago that they talked about that, right?
I think it was CitizenCon, right?
You're right. I think it was. Well, the other thing I liked about that was that completely outside of player experience, you can have two NPCs doing their own game loop, and you get like entry level, thug in like a vigilante pirate type AI organization that works himself up to crime boss with no player even witnessing it.
Yeah.
So that I really like that, where you could just stumble across and see how the game has progressed itself.
Yeah.
So that's what I want to see more of is that kind of stuff.
Yeah, but that's gonna take a lot of like server power just for managing that one guy, and then you need to do that with like 1,000 or 1,000,000 of NPCs.
As soon as they can figure out how to drill the game down so that they're not having to process the guy's like heartbeat and blinking,
or the watery bits in the eyes. Yeah.
It'll get there.
What do you think about the events? Should yeah.
I love the events. I think that they are for people that have been here and done that in terms of the game loops and what we have just naturally available in the game. With PvE, PvP, bounty hunting, asteroid mining. Whenever trade's working. Box missions, delivery, all that stuff. Once we've done all that and we're at a place where everything's a grind, except for maybe PvP, bounty hunting, or just PvP combat.
Yeah.
It's something to do.
What kind of events would you like to see in the future? Because I know we talked about that. Well, more. Of course.
Yeah. I mean, aside from more frequently and expanding upon the ones that are there, I think there's a lot of good elements to like Xenothreat. But when you get 35, 40 people out of the 50 on the server in that one spot, I mean, aside from the lag and the low frame rates, I thought it was really fun clearing out the wreckage, loading the boxes up, and taking it back to Jericho.
We still don't know how it's going to work in this patch regarding lag and the FPS, because FPS is higher now.
Yeah, but outside of the lag, I could be on McL1 waiting for it to start, and then we get the call, and then I pull my ship out. Maybe I grab someone to come with me, and I show up, and I feel like I'm there right when everybody else is. And by the time I find the wreckage, there's like 5 people on every single one of them. So there's too many people trying to do a task that's too small.
It's going to be even more people once server meshing is there, right?
So they better change or expand that event.
But what kind of events would you like to see? Because like currently the only events that we have are like PvE or PvP based, like firing pew-pews and all that. Would you like, because you're an explorer, like for me it would be nice to have like events where people like where PvP is not really incentivized, but you can do it if you're gonna get to the riches faster, right? But not like jump down where like you need to fight each other, but like something like search and rescue, or just search and finding something across the universe, and like you spread out and search for clues, and then like Scooby-Doo kind of shit.
What would you think if there was an event where they either gave us jump points outside of the system as an event?
Yeah. Okay.
Where, let's say you start out at like Microtech.
Right.
And hey, we've got an event where you jump north, outside of the system. North in space doesn't really work, does it?
Yeah.
But like, you know what I'm saying? Like, they take us outside of Stanton not too far, but we go out and we try and find something. Where maybe it's not, the first person to find this one thing wins, but maybe there's asteroids out there that have a type of material in them that you can't get in Stanton.
Mm-hmm.
And for whatever reason, we need it.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like everybody go out and collect. And
Or
maybe
like
there's some resistance. Maybe there's the Vandal out there. And we've got to fight the Vandal off while we gather asteroid stuff.
Yeah. Or like a field of Quantanium spawning randomly, and then like miners got to go there. Or what? Like for me, I would love to see Jumptown, but in space. Like not Jumptown, but like a small
Float town. Float town.
Float town. Yeah, like I don't know, like either like a caterpillar that's there that you got to board and take stuff out of it, or a station that is like uncharted that gets charted just for the event, and then you got to fight on the station that's huge, like I don't know, a copy paste of Everest basically, but without the armistice zone. And then like or like whatever, but just be like stranded in space, and then you have 360 degrees of like approaching like with EVA or whatever. Like stealth would be a really big thing there, right?
Yeah,
it would be completely different than what we have right now.
Yeah, or give us a station somewhere that we have to defend.
Yeah.
Put manned turrets on the station. What they need to do with the events is give something for different people to do.
Yeah.
They did a good job with that with Xeno, where if you don't want to fight, you can clear, you can relocate. There would be the medical supplies thing for like Ninetales, but with the way trade is right now, it doesn't really work. But yeah, there's so many things they could do for events that would be fun and engaging. And the more things they add to the list of available events, like leading up to 316, where they were just kind of cycling through those events like a couple of times a week.
Yeah.
That was great.
Mm-hmm.
It gave us something to do that wasn't just, let's go see who's got a crime stat, let's track them down.
Actually, that was 316, the start of 316. Like a couple of weeks after the New Year's, we got a bunch of like jump downs.
I remember it was around there, but I didn't quite remember, patch-wise when it was. But I liked that. I enjoyed it.
Mm-hmm.
We got to go.
We just need to have continuous events, like constantly.
And sure, could you go out and chain group ERTs and make money a little bit quicker than Xenothreat? Yeah. But I mean, we were out there doing it because it's different.
Well, I wasn't, because it got boring to me. But like,
you were having computer issues too at the time.
Yeah. Once I got the new PC, like, I'm gonna do it again in dispatch. I know that Ninetales and Jumptown should be back for dispatch, but I don't know. Like, whenever there's like player interaction, there's more variety than just like doing bunker missions or doing ERTs or whatever. And it's more fun in the end. You earn less money, but it's more fun.
Yeah, and bringing players together in the games, it's a really good thing. This game has a better community than most multiplayer games that I've played. I think maybe that's because average player age is probably a little higher than a lot of other games. Where it's almost like Citizen Con. It's shared trauma. We've bonded together. People are helpful. Sure, you get. There's the outliers everywhere.
Yeah,
where not nice people, that say bad things. But as a whole, I've met a lot of cool people. Talked to a lot of people and made friends, like you guys.
Yeah,
the you guys. I'm saying that to everybody out there watching the video. We're all friends now.
Yeah.
I watched your videos, but I didn't know anybody else when I hopped in CitizenCon and joined the org.
Mm-hmm.
I've made a lot of you guys, and we play other games now too. I'll hang out with people when I'm not even playing Star Citizen.
Yeah.
So shoot, I hang out with you guys while I'm doing work and hang out in Discord.
Yeah.
So we've made legitimate, real friends here, and the community has that available. It's more available than a lot of other games, I'd say.
Yeah, because like this community is, as you said, like most of us are like 30 plus, and like it's really rare in other games to see like a 25-year-old play with a 65-year-old. Like they're playing the same game in the same ship and doing tasks together. And like this is the only game that I know of that can like do that, and where you have that kind of a community. And most people, as you said, that I met were just nice guys, nice people.
Yeah. No, that's one thing that keeps me coming back to the game is the people in it.
Mm-hmm.
The experience solo gets grindy, monotonous, but you bring friends or strangers into the situation.
Mm-hmm.
One of the funnest things that I've done, some of the funnest things that I do that I enjoy is to grab someone from the global chat that's asking, questions. They're new. You can tell it's like their first week playing the game.
Yeah.
So we grab that guy, throw him in a Redeemer turret, and let's just go around and have fun.
Yeah. And it's a great experience for them. Like my first experience, I think I told you, I got my Aurora stolen and I didn't know how to fucking claim it, and I was stranded. And at that point, people on global chat were not really supportive because they were mostly laughing because it's funny. But I altered for it. Next time that I hopped in, I had a guy that like showed me his Carrack, his Caterpillar. Gave me some money to like just get some things going for me. He told me which ships to buy first, like to go for the Prospector, etc., etc. That was like 1.5 years ago. But just giving the new guys that kind of a experience is great because like if not, they would just be consumed by bugs and they would just like what is this shit? Like why would I even play this? So they would
game has no tutorial.
And no tutorial, yeah. And then you gotta tell them to use Urkel to watch videos so they can understand how to fucking dogfight or whatever, yeah.
Yeah. And I think it's important to do that. It's fun to watch someone live the experience of getting in over their head and making it out.
Yeah.
So it's a lot of fun to see.
Yeah.
Also, the other thing is, anytime I see someone loading up turrets and a hammerhead just to do anything, jump in a turret.
Yeah.
A lot of fun.
So on that topic, what would you like to see in the game that would like incentivize org gameplay?
That would incentivize what?
Org gameplay, like
org gameplay.
Yeah. Because most of the people, even though a lot of them are in orgs, most of the people are just like single players, and they are playing this game as a single player experience.
Yeah. Specifically orgs, it's a tough one. Because it could be an org or it could be just a group of people.
I mean, a group of people is also an org, right?
Yeah, same difference, yeah.
For me, it would be like a shared account where you would buy ships for the org and everybody could like use those ships. But like, there must be more to it, right?
I mean, with some of the gameplay features that are coming sometime, like bases will be a big one. I think bases will be a very, very large thing for orgs because it's now you've got a physical location. We've all set our spawn there. You know, there will be more things to do at that point. You know, we can refine things there. I'm sure they're going to add some form of crafting, which is going to require more targeted gathering.
Mm-hmm.
Salvage is going to be wrapped into the bases. Larger targets, larger events. You can't really do the Idris mission very well solo. You can.
Well, yeah, with the tally or the eclipse, and that's it.
Yeah. But is that fun?
I mean,
5 times after 5 times. Send out torpedo, go boom, haha. You know,
really.
it's a way more fun with friends and with an org.
Yeah.
So bigger targets, bigger things that will require multiple people, with some variety. You know, the lead up to it's fine, where you can't just do it over and over.
Mm-hmm.
Things like that, where it requires a group, and you can set it up on your own terms. You know, with spawning the mission, accepting a mission, once you get everybody together and go do it.
Yeah. Okay, yeah. That's fair. So, what do you think about CAG's communication with the backers?
That's
I got to remind you that this is a Christian channel, and
it was the best of times. It was the worst of times. They've said some things that upset a lot of people.
How do you feel about that?
I feel like I don't know if they meant what they said the way that it was interpreted by a lot of people.
Okay.
We won't know that in terms of, you know, noise.
Mm-hmm.
And I do see how constantly looking at just complaints of the work would lower the morale of the people putting the code together. But at the same time, it is feedback.
Yep.
So either they meant what they said, or someone worded it not the best.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, the thing is, if you go to Spectrum, if you try to say anything, you're gonna get shut down by White Knights, or there's gonna be a war between the Dark Knights and the White Knights, and like, who's gonna take over the topic, and then like mods show up and they like start deleting insults and all of that, or close the topic or whatever. And for some reason, the mods and like CAG themselves with that like statement with like calling backers noise, they have placed themselves on the side of the White Knights, which is a really bad thing. And like from my point of view, because like not all Dark Knights really want the game to die. Like most people that are Dark Knighting under quotations are just objective, and they want the game to succeed, like I do. Like I want the game to succeed, but I have a different way of thinking to like most of the White Knights, right? I'm not gonna be amazed by the river if the river is not really that good, because like they hyped the river like crazy through ISC, and like we had 2 or 3 ISCs where they were talking about the river. Then we got it. It's a singular river in a spot that is like not really easily accessible, and then in the end, it's trash.
You go to the river, you don't find it. You don't stumble on it.
Yeah.
So you go to the river.
Yeah.
Specifically. Honestly, everybody the vast majority of everybody making noise, talking, white knight, dark knight, outside looking in. Well, maybe not everybody outside looking in. We all want the same thing.
Yeah.
We want the game to be complete.
Mm-hmm.
We want the game to be better, and that's not saying that the game is bad. We all want it to be better, more things to do, more features. But we all want the same thing.
Yeah.
So, they could. With River's a perfect example of kind of the message that they give. They said they hyped it up, and so that increases expectations.
Yep.
If they were to come out and say, "Hey, we're going to test out the procedure generation for Rivers. We're going to throw one up on Microtech just to see how it goes. We want people to go check it out, look at it. Give us feedback. What do you like? What do you don't like?"
Yeah.
And be able to take that feedback. What would your approach to the River be with what you saw? If that was the way
that. Exactly like that. Yeah, I'm gonna go there and I'm gonna post a picture of or just a text of what I think about the river, and that's it. I wouldn't do a video on the river being bad, because like it is bad, but it got hyped to fucking sky because like we have a river, and like on top of that, the my main issue with them, and most of the Dark Knights have the same issue, is that they're currently doing bet sheet mechanics. I don't know if you saw that.
I'm thrilled.
Dudes, fucking like. So there was a mop and bucket thing that like shows up in the whatever it's called, not the roadmap, but like the thing that we got.
The progress tracker.
The progress tracker. So
Yeah.
they like redid that a couple of times, like a mop and bucket animation. There's just gonna be a guy that's gonna sweep the floors, and that's it. Like, dudes, we need game loops. We need salvage. We need data running. We need all of that shit. Not the bed sheets, the river, and then like, okay, the river in the end is gonna like help out with the roads and all of that. But like, are we serious? Like, are we like, why are you doing this? Like, I guess. Yeah,
it's a step towards the intricacy. It's a step towards planets and moons being more than just a couple of landing points and a city.
Okay.
Those all add up to making a fuller, more detailed place. And we're going to get those step at a time, right? But they're just not talking about the next step and the next step as a whole.
Because they don't want the noise.
In a way, they're asking for the noise. You hype up Rivers like they did. They put out a couple of videos of them. And then they talk about it in, the weekly updates. I love Jared. Jared's the best. I told you. I want a Jared plushie in game that I can put on the dash of all of my ships. I would love that.
We all do.
But like I said, they hype it up like that. They increase the expectation, and that one thing becomes the focus.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not about, hey, this is taking the moons and planets a step towards being, a full experience. And it becomes, what's the one river like? Better be good. This is one of the main features of the patch, is this one river. And when they set it up like that, there's going to be more noise about it.
It's the same with the barista. Like, it was the same patch, and it was still broken, and like barista barely fucking works now. And like, how can you get excited with that? And in the end, it changes nothing for us, the players. Like, no new game loops, no nothing. We just have a barista and a river, and we have refueling, which doesn't really matter right now, right?
Yeah. Yeah, but like I said, the hype is what makes it not seem like a step towards, or the test. It's like I said, the river was a test. The barista was a test, and I believe they said that was a project by someone kind of newer to the company.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like that took. It's not like the barista is there because they weren't working on something else, and that's, I think, a lot of people tend to forget that they're not shifting teams around to work on different stuff. They have a lot of different teams working on different things. If we understand that this is a test, and if they tell us we're testing this out, this is the intro to, we're going to do one river until it's good. Yeah. And then we can bring that to a whole planet. We need to hear it like that to feel that way, to understand that it might not be great to start with, but they want to at least get something out there on the PU instead of on their test server.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's fair. I don't know.
Like, that's communication wise. That's really what they need to try and focus on. Is give us more. Maybe drop the hype of that one thing. If you're gonna hype something, hype about what it leads to.
Yeah.
Well, that's what we want. We want to hear about what, how many of us keep playing the game because of the potential. Like that video that you did, or that video that you I was a reaction or commented to, or no.
Oh yeah, the streamer one. Yeah.
Potential.
Yeah, we have a lot of shit of and potentials. Like, I don't know. Like, my main issue is with the whole question, like their communication with backers, is in the end that like the backers are saying one thing, because like it shouldn't be like a one-way communication, right? Because you were focusing on the way that they're talking to us, but they're not. Like, the other way should be they need to listen to us, and then like instead of releasing a barista and the whatever it's called, the river, and then like, why didn't you focus on the selling mechanics or the loot mechanics? Like, when they released the inventory system, they said that they're not taking any input on that at the time. And like, I was like, or most of the community was like, what? Like, you release this, which is completely broken, and it's broken still, like, what, 3 patches later? Like 9 months, basically. And you don't expect us to say anything about it? Like, you gotta change this. This is dog shit. And then on top of that, they released the broken terminals and like selling loot and all that. And like, I don't know, at least for me, the communication needs to be a lot better. Like, both ways. We need to like chill down or chill out and like tone it down a bit and tell them like when I say we, I'm talking about the Dark Knights, because I'm considered to be one, even though I'm trying to be in between, I guess. And
you're one of those 50 Shades of Grey, Grump.
Yeah. yeah. So, yeah, I don't know. I have one more question for you before we end this.
Yeah.
How do you like the VKBs, and how did you find out about the VKBs? VKB, please sponsor me.
Well, no, I really like them.
Mm-hmm.
I figured they were kind of a good middle of the road stick.
Mm-hmm.
And as it goes, I got them like within a month before the Evos came out. Or the Evos. But they're fine. I think I would.
There's not much difference.
They're pretty much the same.
Yeah.
ASDWQE is all on or off with the keyboard.
Mm-hmm.
I play some shooters, so I've got decent mouse control. But I mean, realistically, how many things can you do with a keyboard at once in terms of movement?
Yeah.
You can do some weird stuff with like holding your pinky a little weird to get control and shift while you're turning and maybe rolling in one direction. You can't really do too much with it.
Yeah.
Sticks is much more fluid once you start to get the hang of it. You feel like you're piloting the ship.
Yeah.
Keyboard you can do some stuff with, but it feels awkward. It feels a little clunky. I love the sticks. I'm still trying to get better with them. I know work's picked up a little bit for me, so I haven't had as much chance to play as much as I would like to. Slowly getting better with them. But yeah, they're great. VKBs are good. Please sponsor Grump. And I heard about them from you. Well, I mean, I knew what BKBs were, but we talked about sticks, and yeah.
No,
you gave me
the reason why I wrote to them a couple of weeks ago, but they just haven't responded. Like at least Verpals responded. Like the VKB people just didn't for some reason. I mean, maybe because of the whole Ukraine thing, because like their main offices are stationed in Russia, so maybe that's why. I don't know. But like I know for a fact that like at least 20 people bought the Gladiators because of my video, which is amazing because like, dude, like that's 40 sticks for a video that has like 2,000 views. That's really good.
It's just like your referral code. Like you posted that like 2-3 times early on.
Yeah, 357 people as of yesterday.
Nice.
Yeah, almost there for the Javelin 2017 referrals needed. Yeah, you get a Javelin for 2017 referral codes.
Wow.
Yeah, you have you actually you get the Mile High Club for 1,000 something referrals. Like, why? It's an empty room that like. For some reasons, people see it as very desirable to have, and like I know that there's a guy that like paid Google ads for the referral code to like just promote it through Google, so he can have enough like referral people, so he can get that. He like spent like $12,000 just for that. He's a fucking hero, dude. Like why? It's on the game. Why you have to have it? I don't know. It's just a room for me. All right. Do you have any questions on it or anything that you want to say before we end this?
We both like the game. We both love the game.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like we need to say that.
Yeah,
we can both be critical. Different ways. We show it in different ways sometimes. We can both be critical, but we just want it to be better. And I think that most people are in the same boat. That doesn't mean we dislike the game. We just might dislike a few things about it.
Yeah.
You know? And those are all subject to be improved and fixed and changed. So, yeah. We love Star Citizen.
Yeah, we do. And like, from my standpoint, from my point of view, I think that like being critical is the way how you improve things in life. And you're a businessman, you know that like if you just like follow orders or just be happy with your pay or whatever, there's not going to be any progress with the company or with you yourself. So like. You need to be critical. You don't need to criticize every aspect of everything like I do with my ISCs in the past, I don't know how many weeks. And I did that because they're mostly just bullshit. And I just wanted to like make you guys laugh, and that's it. But you need to have debates, and you need to have like people that are speaking their mind out. And that's why one of the reasons why I called you. And thank you for showing up, and thank you for doing this.
Absolutely. I know we've talked about this for months.
Yeah.
I mean, the criticism should be constructive, and there should be maybe an element of respectfulness to it. You know, don't bash them. And you can be very passionate about it, but I don't feel like you're bashing CIG.
Yeah.
You're calling them out for sure.
Mm-hmm.
But maybe if anybody from CIG watches this video, we'll try and be a little bit more constructive. Maybe offer some advice. Please listen.
Yeah, please listen
And then
to the
let us.
community.
I think maybe that's the bigger thing is maybe they are listening, but we don't hear about it. Let us know that you're listening.
Yeah, like, because even if they did, there's a huge fucking delay. Like, they listened about the ATC, like, call ATC button, but people were proposing that for like 4-5 years. So they are listening, but it just takes them a lot of time because it's like their priorities are just not there with us. Like they don't. It seems like they're just doing their own thing, even though maybe they are listening, but the feedback is just too fucking slow.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. You want to do the outro?
Okay. All right. Let me get ready for this.
You gotta mention the patrons and all that.
Oh. Okay. People.
Sheeple.
Grumpy Eye. No, not Sheeple. No. Grumpy Eye. Patreon. Or it's over here. Maybe it's over here. Patreon. Yeah. He needs your help. He needs to improve. He needs his progression in his YouTube channel. YouTube's not going to help him. You are. Please help.
Is this a charity? What is this, dude?
I just put like the music in the background where it's like in the arms of the angels. Send this money to dogs in Africa or wherever.
To Grumpies in Serbia.
Yeah. Does that work for you? Is that good?
Yeah, I mean, yeah. Also, thank you to all the patrons that are supporting the channel. Okay. You guys are amazing.
Okay, yeah. No, thank you. I know I'm one of them.
Yes, you are.
But thanks to the rest of you. It doesn't take much. A little bit helps. No,
that is true. But yeah.
It all adds up. It all adds up.
Yeah.
I mean, you're putting that back into the show.
Yeah,
into the channel.
I'm trying.
You know, and it's not just okay. You've got some lights in the background. You know, those are going towards ships, the cameras. You were having issues getting the cameras connected, so you know that got you the better capture cards. Yeah, sorry. I know I wasn't supposed to bring that up.
Do you know that I need to route my PC now? I'm gonna do it tomorrow. I'm gonna route it just to make a hole so I can get the Elgato PCI Express cards outside because there's no space inside, so I can connect my camera so it can work. Yeah,
I've drilled a hole in my PC case too for different reasons, but
it's a $5,000 piece. It's new. Like, anyway, let's end it here.
Okay. Don't forget to bring a space while you're traveling to Towel.
What he said.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you.
Love you. Kisses.
Love
Mwah.
You. Mwah. Right. Bye.
Bye.